introduction to Chittara began with the Chittara mural at Indian Music Experience in Bangalore. So when I saw it, I was stunned looking at the intricate work, and it was a huge mural. It is a very awe-inspiring painting. And at that time, I didn't remember or register the name Chittara. That name of the art form didn't even register. All I remember was that it felt amazing. So many months later, when Geeta Bhatt, the founder of Center for Revival of Indigenous Art, CIFRIA as it's called, when she got in touch to work on the Chittara book project, that is when I realized that what I saw at IME was in fact Chittara. That was my first, experience, and I just jumped into the project. And it's been a fruitful journey. During the course of this project, I was very fortunate to have met the artists also, the artists who actually drew that painting at IME, unassuming women who have done stunning artwork, and it was they came across as very humble, and they didn't realize the power they held on that IME wall. So it was an amazing experience working on this project and exploring not just the art form, looking at the culture, meeting all the artists, the older women who were full of, their wisdom, I should say, was immense. And the way they shared their knowledge about the art form, the culture, their lifestyle, their inspirations, it has been a very, very fulfilling journey. So, Namrata, why don't you talk about your entry into Chittara?
I think from a lot of the things you're saying, I started recollecting my journey with Chittara. So in 2018, I came across a workshop, a Chittara workshop by CIFRIA that was happening as part of some women's festival and all of that. And coming from a design background, any such workshops in different folk festivals, I try to attend. And so I just went, and assuming I had no idea. I'm born and brought up in Karnataka. I had no idea. I'd never seen Chittara. So I said, okay, let's go see what this is. And it was a 2-day workshop. So the first day, they just taught us how to make the basic skeleton of the Chittara. And then when we started filling in the patterns, and then when we were, looking at the Chittaras that the artist had done and all of that, what I saw was, I couldn't understand. We were using scales and rulers, and I was thinking hundreds of years ago, somebody thought of doing this. There was no scale, there was no copying somebody else. They've created a whole visual language just from looking at things around them, making it so geometric, so mathematical. How did that happen? I was mind blown. So by the end of that workshop, I went to Geeta. I said, see, I'm a designer. I just have a few years experience. I want to work with you. I don't know how, I don't know what we'll do, but I want to work with you. And since then, Chittara has not left my side. Geeta has not left my side. That's true for all of us. Things together. And I keep meeting more amazing people like the great Smita Tumlu. It's just been an amazing journey. And I can't even imagine, Geeta, you've been doing this for 20 years. So the love that I feel for Chittara, I feel 100-fold of that. So tell us about how it all began.
Mine was very different than both of you. I experienced from both of you. So I happened to see Chittara exhibition in Chitrakala Parishad way back, and it's just like love at first sight. Okay, and it just fascinated me. And when I started inquiring about it, not much information was forthcoming, and for some reason this artist was not telling me from where, etc. And after a while, again I met somebody at Chitrakala Parishad, and then I want to know more, and I traveled to many villages nearby. And those days there was no buses properly. You have to get down somewhere, go off somewhere, and you're lost somewhere, etc., etc. But then it continued, and the more I went, the more fascinated, the more interesting it became. And then, of course, I came to know it's from, when I learned that it's from women, and it's all the more. And there is no electricity, and they're doing such a beautiful, lovely painting in the darkness almost, I would say, holding the Diva Tige, what we call it. And more I went, the more and more I got attracted, fascinated, and I want to do something. There was a strong calling for me. I want to do this, and that's how it started off. And then I interviewed many of them, and then I tried to invite them to Bangalore, and hardly any people knew about Chittara.
Yeah. So we have actually included some of your pictures as archival images in our book.
Yeah.
So they are very precious.
Yeah. And of course, there are many people who are doing, I mean, at that time, there are many other tribes who are doing Chittara. But when I saw Divaru Chittara, it's very distinct. You can make out, this is something very different and more beautiful, more intricate. So all the more I was, kind of triggered to do something. And I came to know it's a dying art form and not many were interested at all. So, and then I started working with Chittara, traveled to Sagar. I don't know, like now, of course, it's easy to travel, but at that time it was very difficult. But I went on doing it. And then a lot of research happened. I mean, I didn't know it was research. And one of my friends who said she's a research, and they said, oh, you should go and present this to the international art education, because people should come to know about this kind of folk painting and about the folk people. And then that's how it led one to the other. Then we went to South Korea, National University, and then Hualien. And then we were invited to do at World Congress, Japan. And probably then I had some Japanese connection. And then my friend said, why don't you do Chittara exhibition? So this is how things happen. And when we said Chittara exhibition, my friend said, oh, why don't we have that lifestyle of photography exhibition of lifestyle? And probably, as far as I know, this is the first time Chittara went outside and the exhibition, and that's how it happened. And coming back to them, they use only natural colors. There's nature worshippers, water worshippers, and they use only eco-friendly material. So many things like this made me more and more deeply involved with this. And when I see them doing it, their kind of dexterity they work with, and their creativity and their imagination, it's unimaginable for us to think about. So I mean, there's lots to tell, but yes, I think I should stop here at this time.
I think to add to what Geeta said, many of my friends, see, I lived in Karnataka for a long time. Although I'm not a Kannadiga, I did not know about Chittara. That's not an excuse, but a lot of my Kannadiga friends also did not know. And many people from Malanadu region, like, they had not heard about Chittara. Like, it's very, very less known outside of that region. So that's all the more a reason to kind of work on this project, to bring this to showcase it to a larger, wider audience. So it reminds me about what Professor Borlingaya said in one of his interviews. Professor Borlingaya is the ex-vice chancellor of Kannada University, Hampi. He is also the president of Janapada Academy. I think it was recognized by UNESCO recently. So he narrated an incident where he had visited this place called Meghani in Malnadu region, and he had seen this Kunibiyaru tribe. In their village, every house, literally every house had Chittara, beautiful Chittara, and you could see wherever you go, you could see. And this was 35 years back. And when he revisited this place, it seems there was not a single house with Chittara. A lot of people didn't even know, and it's such an important and beautiful part of their heritage. And now it's not even seen or known. And this is true of so many tribes that used to do Chittara and don't do it anymore. All the more reason for us to focus on this particular community, the Divaru community, who are still doing Chittara, whether it's on baskets or on the wall or tattoos, and in various contexts, they still practice Chittara. And like Geeta said, their Chittara is much more intricate, more refined, and that is something that really attracted us to this project, even to the extent that we've named our book Divara Chittara, as a tribute to the Divaru women who have over the years refined it so beautifully. And we've tried to document the varieties of Chittara, the authentic form in which it used to be practiced, and the variations across different regions. We've documented the culture, the tattoos. Namrata, why don't you tell us about your first trip to our book trip?
The Sagara was fabulous. I mean, first of all, when you start a project like this, we don't know what to expect, right? We don't know where to start. On the first trip, you don't know who you will meet. Like you kind of just go shooting in the dark. You don't know where you will end up. You don't know the kind of information you can get, right? So we didn't really have a script saying we're looking at these kinds of people or anything. And the first trip, the highlights ended up being a lot of old women we met, right? And old women who had never been photographed, never been given this kind of acknowledgement. You know, we were interested in their tattoos, we were interested in their nose pick was the first thing that I noticed. And I love jewelry, so we went behind that. Then we started noticing the different ear piercings they had. Kaal each toe used to have a different kind of Kaal. Now they only wear the one that you usually see on the middle toe. And but they had names for the other toe rings, which are now conspicuous by their absence. So it was really fascinating what a repository of traditional knowledge that is. You probably would not even realize until you really were looking for it, right? So when we came back from that trip, we said, okay, these Anjis are going to be the thread that tie this story together. And that's where our journey began. And that's how we kind of, based our narrative and kind of started figuring out how this book would be, whose voice would be highlighted in the book.